This is the items that I bought with my grant. I bought the pizza game, and I bought Osmo here that's got letters, it's tiles and things like that, and then that's the camera that you put your, oh, I thought, did I do that? And then I got earphones, and then a mini iPad cover, and a Tiggly starter kit over there with math and shapes and things like that, and then the charging station, and I couldn't find a picture of the charging station, so. Okay, so the problem of practice identified was that nearly half of our kindergarten students in Kentucky are not considered kindergarten ready, with skills needed to build a solid foundation for learning. This research for this grant will address the impact that student engagement has on Head Starters as they begin acquiring fundamental learning skills and alphabet recognition using Osmo and Tiggly. Okay, what I will do is Tiggly and Osmo will be addressed by engaging a group of students in the daily use of iPad and Tiggly and Osmo. We will practice skills to help them learn and practice alphabet recognition. I did a pre-assessment at the beginning of the year, and then I done a post-assessment a few months after we used the iPads with Osmo and Tiggly, and using traditional methods as well. Then I divided into two groups. Group 1 used iPad with Tiggly and Osmo, and Group 2 used traditional approach like ABC bingo, puzzles, stuff like that. By doing this, we will determine if there will be an increase of learning letters and sounds and which method was better to use. Okay, what did my research tell about the work and why did I choose this? My research showed me that the children was able to pick up more letter recognition and sounds by using the iPads with Osmo and Tiggly than with traditional learning. I chose this strategy because I know so many children today have more access to technology than anything else. So I thought showing children a different way of using the technology would help improve on their learning. My intentions are to address a group of students in the daily use of iPad with Tiggly and Osmo kits for them to learn and practice alphabet recognition skills. My intention is to try to disguise learning by actively engaging students with technology to create multiple opportunities of learning through play. The iPads and Tiggly and Osmo kits will be set up as a learning station for the students to visit and use during free choice. Okay, Group 1 used the iPads with Osmo and Tiggly along with circle time activities to help them learn letters and sounds. Now we were working with not just recognition of letters, but we wanted to see how many sounds we could have them pick up as well. Okay, so here is the little girl with the Osmo and the tiles, and there's the iPad set up with the camera. And then over here is a little girl on a different program. Will that play? That's a video. This is the Tiggly.
Is there sound on the video?
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not particularly this one. I don't think this one will have sound. No? Okay. Well, this is the Tiggly with the vowel letters, and he is playing with that, and it's telling him a letter and what color. Down here is paint, and it tells him what letter, and then he chooses the color, and then colors that letter in. And this one was the little girl that had the Osmo with the camera, and she was having a little bit difficulty because I had all the tiles laid out with the 26 letters, and she was having trouble focusing. So I caught on to that, and so I would just scoot 2 or 3 tiles out to the side and say, now which one are they asking you to find? Because they bring up the picture here, and then they have a letter blocked, and then they have the other 2 letters. So she had to figure out which letter was a C and the sound. And so she would usually get it once I pulled 2 or 3 letters over, and it thrilled her. It made her happy. when she was able to do that. Okay, so according to my records, Group 1 had an average of 21% knowledge of letters and no knowledge of sounds before using the iPads with Osmo and Tiggly. After applying the iPads with Osmo and Tiggly, there was an average of 67% increase in learning letters and 24% of sounds. That's a big change right there, just by changing this way. So 2 out of the 3 was able to show improvement in the sounds. That is an increase of 46 in total of the knowledge of letters. With all 3, I had 3 kids in the group, and so I averaged out the total. And the increase was 46% of knowledge of letters and 24% on knowing the sounds of the letters as well. Group 2 used traditional methods like puzzles, alphabet bingo, and circle time activities. And here's the kids playing with traditional methods used in our classroom to help the children learn and recognize letters and sounds of the letters. Okay, this is the alphabet bingo. The teacher holds up a letter, says the letter and the sound. They look at their card to see if they have that letter, and then they put a red piece on there. This little girl, we had Play-Doh out, and she shaped the letters. And of course, one of the fathers helped her and spelled out her name. And this one is a brown bag that we put shape of a U, and they took yarn and glued the shape of the U, and we talked about the sound of it. And this one was, we had magnets, and they came over, and each child spelt their name out, and of course we took a picture of it. And then this is the group that was playing with ABC Bingo. And here's a video, but I don't think it'll play, no. Okay, so according to my records, Group 2 has an average of 16% of knowledge of letters, and no sounds were known before using this approach. After using traditional teaching methods, there was an average of 35% knowledge of letters and a 4% of knowledge of sounds. That is a total increase of 19% of knowledge of letters and a total 4% of knowledge on sounds. So there was improvement there as well, just not as big of improvement as with the iPads. Okay, in conclusion of this project, each method used in this study does work, but the iPads and Osmo and Tiggly seem to work better than the traditional. I think the children seem to have more access to technology, that it seems to be the better choice. But personally, I think that some of both methods used in the study are a good habit to use for the fact that they can either have fun with their friends playing some of the games, or they can do Osmo and Tiggly with iPads as a way to be by themselves. I found that using iPads and Osmo and Tiggly requires not only recognition of letters, but also requires knowing some sounds of the letters, as well as being able to do some of the activities on Tiggly and Osmo. That's it. Any questions?